Hello guys, I am Perry Howard and I am going to let you guys in on a movie, on a TV review of one of my personally favorite shows that I honestly would tell you any day of the week to go watch it, binge watch it, go make some popcorn, sit down and watch it. That show is Arrow. To most people, they probably wouldn't like this show because it's a superhero show about the Green Arrow and his story from everything that's happened to him, from going from a billionaire playboy to becoming a scarred up hero trying to right the wrongs of the city, trying to get the city out of the corruption, the madness, and just the plain poison it's become. By doing, he does this by going around at night in a green hood with a bow and arrow, which, like, yay, bow and arrow, but this is way better than that. It's not just your typical, oh, he's just like Batman, but which is not true. See, over the series, he comes in contact with all sorts of cool enemies. You learn so much backstory. It's honestly just one of the best TV shows out there. It's made by the CW, which is a cheap commercial based streamer, and they made The Flash, which is introduced in Arrow season 2. They also made shows like Supernatural, iZombie, all that good stuff. The reason, the reason you should go on Netflix and binge watch every single second of this isn't really for the story, but for the actors. Because Stephen Amell plays the league row of Oliver Queen, and it has many other fantastic actors that really fit the character. They have a few characters from mostly CW based shows, like they have one of the Doctor Who's famous people, which is in the show John Scott Burrowman, who's in the show, portrays as one of the sub main characters' father, and it's really cool to see him go from a show like Doctor Who to be playing more of a villainy anti-hero, just typical person. It's If you really like the whole science-based sci-fi fake stuff, you're not really gonna like this because this show really stands to mostly using logic, reasoning. It's There's a few episodes which it becomes more of a soap opera, which is terrible and honestly I didn't like. But it's not just like this random random mumbo jumbo, like he said she said stuff. It's like different love affairs between that he had before he got shipwrecked on an island, and where they are now, as in who loved who did what. But that's like a really sub part of this show, and don't let it turn you away, because then you're not going to be wasting your time in the good way. You'd be wasting your time watching some other cut rate show that's honestly not as good. But I guarantee you, if you actually sat down and at least watched, I don't know, maybe the first 7 episodes, all you should probably take to get hooked on. In Personally, I didn't start watching the show until halfway through season 2. So I actually did go back and rewatch everything once I found out about it, because, I'm slow and don't get news because I have no friends. But just he's an amazing actor. Stephen Amell plays his part very well. They're on to season 4 now, and they're currently on a break, and they'll be back March 23rd. So if you really want to really get caught up, you have like 3 weeks right now just to go and just sit down and just waste your whole weekend just watching it, not episode after episode, 24/7. Back to more of the story plot. He's so he begins to try saving the city. You meet a whole bunch of cool enemies. In season 2, they introduce Barry Allen, which most people probably don't know is actually the Flash, but they meet him before he actually becomes the Flash. So it's him back as the normal CSI crime lab specialist instead of the superhero we see running around and saving people. They have a bunch of cool villains on here like Deathstroke, Ra's al Ghul, Damien Dark, the Black Archer, also as the Dark Archer. They have they have a lot of sub villains, which you don't really see often because they only really last an episode or two. They have a few episodes where they don't go necessarily behind Oliver as a person. They go behind his companions, like one of his companions, Felicity. They have a few episodes where they just talk about her backstory and like how she got to where she was when they got met. They have one for his other one about his bodyguard and what he did and his life and family. But that's something you'd have to watch because I don't want to spoil it for you because it's an amazing show. Wow. Just trying to see what it's a typical superhero show. It's the first superhero show that CW did that actually has led on to 3 new shows that they have produced, all because of how good Arrow did. The shows are The Flash, which I mentioned earlier, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which introduces a few of the Arrow characters, a few of the Flash characters. They all come together. It's a team of 10 that go through time trying to stop one bad guy. I can't say the name because it's a spoiler for Arrow and the Flash. And they also have one animated series which is actually doing quite well called Vixen, which you can find on the CW Seed. But other than that, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed your 8 minutes and 17 seconds.